We spend decades bound to the harsh ring of an alarm clock, trained to treat the sunrise as a battle cry for productivity and relentless motion. We spent our working years rushing into the day with adrenaline in our veins, trading the early quiet for the chaotic demands of a world that never sleeps. But retirement offers a gentle, sacred liberation, an invitation to unlearn the frantic urgency that once defined our mornings. The Stoics remind us that time is our most precious asset, not because we must fill every second with labor, but because each moment is an unrepeatable gift of existence. To wake up slowly is a quiet act of rebellion against a culture that measures human value strictly through output and speed. When you reclaim your morning hours, you reclaim the sovereignty of your own soul. The morning sunrise is no longer a deadline to meet, but a sanctuary to enter for a lifetime. The world taught us to evaluate our worth by how quickly we moved and how much we managed to accomplish before noon. In the quiet transition to retirement, this ingrained momentum often manifests as a phantom anxiety, a subtle guilt for simply standing still. Yet, Marcus Aurelius frequently urged himself to observe how nature operates without hurry, performing its essential duties in total calm. The oak tree does not race to produce leaves, nor does the morning mist feel ashamed for drifting lazily across the valley. To design an unhurried morning is to align yourself with this timeless, natural rhythm of the universe. You are no longer required to prove your usefulness to a noisy gallery of onlookers. Let the world run its frantic race while you sit softly in the warmth of your own peace. Consider the simple, profound ritual of preparing a morning cup of tea or coffee without looking at a clock or checking a screen. In our younger days, we swallowed our morning drinks in hasty gulps, our minds already racing toward distant meetings and heavy responsibilities. When you slow down the process, focusing entirely on the warmth of the mug, the rising steam, and the rich aroma, the mundane becomes sacred. Epictetus taught that true wisdom lies in bringing total presence to the small, immediate duty right in front of us. This single, deliberate act grounds your spirit in the present moment, anchoring you before the day's distractions try to pull you away. You do not drink to fuel a busy schedule. You drink to savor the miraculous fact that you are alive to taste it. In the quiet depth of a simple cup, you find a world far richer than any restless ambition. We often wake up with minds already cluttered by the ghosts of yesterday or the vague anxieties of tomorrow. We carry old worries into the fresh air of a new day, darkening the clean light of dawn with memories of battles long since fought. But Stoicism invites us to practice a daily rebirth, viewing every single sunrise as a brand new lifetime bestowed upon us. The past has vanished entirely into memory, and the future remains an unwritten rumor that may never arrive in the way we imagine. Your slow morning is a clean canvas, completely untainted by the failures or regrets of your past career. Protect these first hours fiercely, refusing to allow old shadows to cross the threshold of your quiet home. Step into the dawn with empty, open hands, ready to accept the day exactly as it arrives. There is a vast, understated freedom in establishing a morning routine that belongs entirely to your internal desires, rather than external demands. Instead of reacting to phone calls, news alerts, or the urgent requests of others, you choose to move through space at your own chosen cadence. This intentional boundary creates an inner citadel, a fortress of calm that protects your mind from emotional chaos. Seneca noted that a man who belongs to everyone else belongs least of all to himself. By taking back control of your first waking hours, you declare that your peace of mind is no longer up for public trade. You do not owe the world your immediate attention the moment your eyes open to the light. Honor your own presence first, and let the rest of the world wait outside your door. In our active years, we viewed silence as an uncomfortable void, a gap in our schedules that needed to be filled with noise, radio, or conversation. We feared being left alone with the quiet rustle of our own thoughts, using the constant hum of business to keep deep questions at bay. But an intentional morning in retirement transforms silence from a cold absence into a rich, welcoming companion. In the soft hush of early light, before the neighborhood awakens, you can hear the quiet whisper of your own soul returning to balance. The Stoics cultivated this deep internal quiet, knowing that tranquility is not something you search for outside, but but something you allow to rise from within. You no longer need background noise to distract you from the passage of time. Sit quietly with the morning's silence and let it heal the tired places in your spirit. Physical decay and slowing down are often viewed by society as tragic losses, yet they are the natural, beautiful progression of a life well lived. In your youth, your body was a vehicle for rapid action, designed to push through fatigue to build a life for your family. In your senior years, your body becomes an instrument of contemplation, encouraging you to move gracefully and notice the subtle details you once overlooked. A slow morning walk is no longer about reaching a step count or rushing to a destination. It is an act of gentle observation. You notice the crisp texture of the morning air, the shifting shadows on the sidewalk, and the quiet beauty of a rising sun. Accept the slower pace of your steps as a privilege, not a limitation. The slow walker sees the flowers that the sprinter trampled without ever knowing they were there. We spent decades living under the tight grip of expectations, constantly trying to meet the standards set by employers, peers, and societal norms. We wore professional armor every morning, carefully dressing and preparing our minds to present a strong, competent facade to the world. Retirement strips away the need for this performance, inviting you to step into an authentic, unadorned way of being. Stoicism reminds us that true nobility is not found in public status or artificial roles, but in a clean conscience and a steady heart. Your quiet morning requires no uniform, no defense, and no performance for an audience. You are free to simply exist as you are, comfortable in your own skin and at peace with your history. Lay down the heavy weight of who you thought you had to be, and embrace who you actually are. The modern world conditions us to live in a state of perpetual anticipation, always looking past the current hour toward the next event on the calendar. We plan our weekends on Monday and plan our vacations months in advance, completely missing the subtle texture of the day we are currently in. But a slow, intentional morning demands that you abandon the habit of living in the future. As the horizon of life grows closer, the wisdom of focusing entirely on the immediate present becomes brilliantly clear. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that no person loses any other life than the one they are living right now, in this single breath. Breathe in the morning air deeply, feeling the expansion of your lungs and the quiet pulse of your heart. Today is not a stepping stone to a better tomorrow. Today is the entire destination. We often harbor a quiet fear that if we do not keep busy, our lives will lose their meaning and drift into uselessness. We equate a full calendar with a purposeful existence, terrified of confronting an empty day with nothing urgent to do. But Stoicism teaches that true purpose is not found in frantic activity, but in the moral quality and awareness we bring to whatever we do. A morning spent sitting on a porch, reading a wise book, or simply watching the rain is not a wasted morning. It is a profound exercise in self-mastery, a declaration that your spirit is content without needing external distraction. You do not need to build empires or solve crisis events to justify your presence under the sun today. Simply being present, kind, and peaceful is a complete and noble contribution to the world. The practice of voluntary simplicity in the morning brings an incredible, weightless freedom to the soul. When you reduce the choices you must make upon waking, what to wear, what to eat, where to rush, you preserve your mental energy for deep reflection. Epictetus observed that wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. A simple morning consisting of plain light, basic food, and a quiet room reveals how little human happiness actually requires. The complex, expensive luxuries we once chased in our youth fade into insignificance compared to the luxury of an unhurried mind. When you lower your demands on the physical world, your capacity for spiritual calm expands exponentially. You realize that you already possess everything necessary to live a good and peaceful life right now. Much of our past exhaustion came from attempting to manage, fix, and control the lives of everyone around us. We woke up with the mental weight of our children's problems, our colleagues' mistakes, and the endless crises of the broader world. An intentional morning in retirement is a daily exercise in positive detachment, choosing to leave the burdens of others in their proper place. You step back from the urge to manage the universe, recognizing that your primary duty is the stewardship of your own character. This is not cold selfishness, but but a wise recognition of human limits and the natural boundaries of control. Wish the world well, send love to your family, and then return your focus to the quiet sanctuary of your own mind. You cannot keep others warm by setting your own morning on fire.